Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Mickey, and I am an actor and a filmmaker. On my YouTube, I do video essays, vlogs, and then occasionally I do favorites videos. And so today will be another favorites video. Last year I did these quarterly, and this year I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to feel it out. Now is the time when I want to go over stuff, I want to have stuff to share, and it's going to be from January to April of 2026. Life update, if you watch my vlog, I have a home, I'm in a new apartment, things are looking up. But it's just a white wall, but this will be our new home. Before we get started, I'm very excited to share that Book of the Month has kindly sponsored this video. They have a short list of fiction every month that you can choose from. There's also some nonfiction books that I think are their add-on category. And what's great about it is you can skip a month if you want. If you don't like the one that you ordered, they have a reader guarantee and you can send it back and get a new one the next month. Whenever people ask, how do I get reading? I genuinely think the best way to do it is to pick something that you think is going to be really riveting and easy to get into. And then once you read one book, you automatically just want to read the next. I picked out two books that I'm very excited to share. First one I got is Canon by Paige Lewis. It is a non-binary epic that blends poetry and mythology. And then the second one I picked out, Delusions. These are a collection of essays by Cassie David. She is a screenwriter and an actress. Her kind of thoughts on her 20s before reaching her 30th birthday. Yeah, it says the attempt to mature in the span of a year. Currently doing an offer where your first intro month is only $5. They send you a really cute little tote like this one to put your books in. You can use the link below to sign up, and it's only $5, so you can try it out. Let's get into the favorites. If it's your first time here, this is like my whole media list where I track everything per year, and then I will kind of pick a fave 3 in each category. I almost always start with movies. I kind of want to change it up. Because we're coming from Book of the Month, let's talk books. I really love Rachel Cusk. I've read a ton of her work. I really want to make my way through all of it, to be quite honest. I read her essay collection, Coventry, consistently explore themes of motherhood, divorce, art, and feminism. Her identity as a woman is very central to her writing, and reading these essays just brought me to a different level of kind of understanding her process. Within the context of having read her fiction, I found to be super fun. A lot of these essays are actually available online. I highly recommend all of her work. I would definitely recommend the Outline trilogy if you want to start, but if you're looking for a really good essay collection, this is great. I will say, caveat about Rachel Cusk essays, they are a little depressing. They make me, as a woman, a little sad sometimes, so I have to take it in doses. I have continued with On the Calculation of Volume. I didn't love book 2, but I did love book 3. The series is, I believe, 7 or 8 parts, and they're being translated into English each year as well. It's about a woman living the same day, November 18th, over and over and over again. I like the idea of this anthology and just it keeping me in my reading loop. I find the books to be really relaxing. There's a sort of quiet reflection in them because she's living the same day over and over again. I think some people have found them boring. It's the type of boring that I like. It's asking you to do what she is doing, which is to quiet and to notice because it's the same day over and over again. Tangent on here. I don't think that this is a favorite, but I do this thing where when I'm having a really tough time and I can't sleep, I listen to the Harry Potter audiobooks. I'm specifically a Stephen Fry girl and not a Jim Dale girl. I'm sorry. The books are always better and worse, I realize at the same time when I listen to them. But I also read a couple scripts just because I read scripts normally, but I wrote these down just because they were very impactful. I read the After Sun script by Charlotte Wells and also the Pillion script by Harry Lighton. I'll talk about Pillion a little bit later when I go into movies, but both of them are really beautiful. I learned a lot from reading the After Sun script. The way that movie's fragmented is very interesting, but it has tiny, tiny through lines throughout, and it was really fascinating to watch how she crafted it. I think that's good for books. Let's do television. Will be the largest category. I've talked about industry before, so I won't harp on it too much. It's a financial thriller drama created by former investment bankers. Is very similar to Succession, I think, in sometimes its tone and point of view on the world. At the same time, found itself a more unique niche in terms of the filmmaking itself. The show just feels like an actor's playground. It just feels like people allowing actors to do really good work. Also, I feel like the cinematographers are doing amazing work, the editors as well. It's one of those shows that you have to pay attention to because the language that they use is really difficult. It's kind of like The Pit is a bit like that, but it serves it on a platter for you a little bit more. But because I can't look at my phone during the show, because it's really hard to capture some of the plot, and sometimes they leave stuff out purposefully, jump to a conclusion to get to where the scene is, I just feel very focused and completely immersed in the stakes of the piece. People had recommended that I watch Pluribus, and I finally watched it, and I agree, it's fantastic. Vince Gilligan's show on Apple TV. I don't really want to give too much away. It's a post-apocalyptic science fiction television series. The show takes a lot of liberties with your time. It's a ton of wide shots that move incredibly slowly in a different way than industry, where industry, it's like, it's so intense, I'm so gripped. This is intense, but I'm being almost like fed crumbs so that I have to watch and I can't look away. I found it to be really relaxing as well. Themes were intense, but I was kind of lulled into this state. I don't know, I feel like it would be really tough to get people to watch this show if it wasn't Vince Gilligan with like his amazing career. Everyone kind of buys in and then you're just in it. Such creative shots as well. I also love how aggressive his color grades are. I haven't finished this. I'm only on episode 3, but I'm going to add it to the list. Maybe I'll remove it later. We'll see how it ends. But I started Beef Season 2 and I really like it. Interesting take, I didn't really like Beef Season 1 that much. I got why people liked it. I thought it was like amazing acting, so entertaining. But I don't know, it was stressing me out, and so I didn't watch the whole thing through. Maybe it's just because I love Carey Mulligan. I just really like the cast of 4 that they're focusing on. Like each one of those actors I'm very interested in. I think those will be like my 3, and then just like thoughts off the top of my head if you want my hot takes on these. Bridgerton. Bridgerton's like candy. I thought the season was okay. I still think the second is the best. If I was to rate them, I'd say 2, 1, 3, 4. And then Queen Charlotte would be like maybe tied for 1. It looks on its surface beautiful, but I just can't with I'm like, why are we using these cameras and lighting things this way? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the Netflix effect that everybody's kind of speaking about, but something like Bridgerton where there's so much effort put into the costuming and the makeup and the hair, it just seems a disservice to kind of wash it all out. And it makes everybody look so modern, which takes me out of it. Love Island All-Stars, the season was just okay. Tell Me Lies, so entertaining. Thank God that show is done. It makes me feel ill to watch it. It's about lying and like cheating on each other and driving each other crazy in a college. And like Traitors was so fun. I talked a little bit in my video essay about television about why I think we love Traitors and love watching reality TV stars reinvent themselves on other reality cinematic universe. But yeah, the other thing I really liked about The Traitors is I really enjoyed The Traitors companion podcast. I thought that Bob the Drag Queen and Boston Rob was like an incredible podcast combination. I went on a really funny Survivor run. Something about Survivor 50 made me want to watch old Survivor seasons. Old Survivor, just incredible. I love the aspect ratio is like 4:3. And the I-24 from, I think it was season 16. This is the season where they divide them into tribes based on race. And then out of nowhere, this like awesome POC alliance forms. Totally the underdogs. And I don't want to give too much away, but they really come through. And the ways, like I was very emotionally moved by the ways that they supported each other. Season 16 was great. I also really liked, that was season 13. I really liked season 16 with the Amanda Parvati situation. Okay, everybody loves Love Story. I thought the first few episodes were so fun, and seeing New York at that time is just thrilling. I think I'm just a little bit I'm just over the Carolyn Bessette obsession. Seeing everybody discover her, I was just like, she's been around. Did we not know? Has this already not been the blueprint, you know? Paradise is a very entertaining TV show if you just need something to lose your mind to. I thought Jury Duty season 2 wasn't quite as strong as season 1. Maybe season 1 just the novelty wore off a little bit for me. Survivor 50 has been really fun to watch so far. It's kind of gone up and down. The Mr. Beast thing was great. I love how all of the celebrity interventions have been kind of bad ideas, except for the Mr. Beast one seems to work. I think that's good for TV. Let's do movies, and then I will skip around a little bit. I'll go over my faves real quick, and then I'll give you hot takes on the rest of them. Hamnet is Chloe Zhao's 2025 historical drama based off the novel. It's co-written with Maggie O'Farrell, who wrote the novel as well. Family life of William Shakespeare and his wife Agnes Hathaway as they cope with the death of their 11-year-old son, Hamnet. This movie is so beautiful. I really recommend seeing it alone if you can. I think it hits for some people and it doesn't for others, and that's totally okay. Chloe Zhao films for me have always had a place in my heart. Nomad Land is very important to me. I think on a page, on a screenplay, this film could seem uninteresting. The conflict is a bit diluted, but in the film, it does not feel that way at all. It's like so present, and it's really like you can feel everybody kind of collaborating on the set when you're watching it. Her process was very like meditative in making this film. She had a lot of the meditate before takes, and then they would do like these dance parties because it was such heavy material. And this, I think, is maybe one of my favorite films of the year, and I don't know why I didn't see it sooner. Pillion is a romantic dark comedy drama film written by Harry Lighton. The film stars Harry Melling, if you know you know, Dudley, Harry Potter, who is a timid gay man, and Alexander Skarsgård as a biker, and they start a BDSM relationship together. This film made me understand dom-sub relationships and dynamics in a way that I did not before. I think this film is very entertaining and quite short. So if you are looking for like an indie that you're like gonna click into and you're gonna watch, like Hamnet's gonna be slower, but this I actually think is you're like in it from the start. And then my last one is Bunny Lover. It follows a Chinese American cam girl who navigates a toxic client relationship while reconnecting with her dying father. It's just a really beautiful exploration of womanhood in your 20s, especially in New York. I think if that's who you are, like I think you'll find it really relatable and beautiful and introspective. Okay, I feel kind of bad because I'm realizing in this moment that every single movie I'm ranking is like not available yet, but they will be. I gave you those 3 movies. Quick impressions of these other movies. I thought The Housemaid was highly entertaining and very funny. Zootopia, finally watched it on a plane. Excellent film. There's a lot of propaganda going on during Zootopia, but I get why it's a classic. Was not into Frankenstein. I couldn't get on board. I'm so sorry. I also kind of feel like the craft of it, the scenic design, the costume design was beautiful. Oh my god, some of the costumes were. However, I thought all of it kind of looked weird with the lighting. I'm realizing I didn't talk about Wuthering Heights at all. Everybody has talked about Wuthering Heights. I am enjoying refraining from having an opinion. When I saw it, I cried. Have I thought about it in depth at all since? No. And I think that's because there wasn't that much to think about. Let's talk products and routines, because I do feel like I got some good stuff. Very obsessed with Bonnie and Clyde's entire line of glasses. They very generously sent me some, and I have been wearing these and also the sunglasses they sent me all the time. They just are really well fitting on the face. The baby is these ones, and then I also have a pair with a red frame that's really cute. And then I got another pair too that's a bit boxier. I think I'm going to change the lens to sunglasses on them because a little bit more of that 2000s look for a summer sunglass. But yeah, people ask me where my glasses are from all the time. So this pair is Bonnie and Clyde. My other pair is actually just a pair of vintage Anne Klein frames on eBay, and they were like $20. You can basically look up, I also had like a pair from like DKNY. You can look up like any kind of vintage brand you want, and then you can go through the frame options. Obviously it's more of a risk. This pair is cute. It's $26. Like it's worth maybe giving them a try. eBay in general is amazing and highly underused. You can just look up, off the top of my head too, if you're looking for clothes, I highly recommend like Jones New York, Liz Claiborne, Anne Klein. Like if you look up those vintage brands, you're going to find a lot of good quality stuff, good cotton, good wool. The other thing that I was just sharing with a friend, this is just top of mind right now, this is for the girls. You can buy old versions of laser hair removal devices on eBay. What's expensive though is not the device, it's the light cartridge. My mom bought one from Costco when I was in high school, and she still has it, still works to this day. I bought one on eBay for $40, and then I have continued to just buy replacement cartridges. An at-home laser is, maybe apart from a red light mask, the best at-home device I have ever used, because laser hair removal, even if you get it done professionally, it kind of after a couple years like stops working. If you just do it every once in a while, it just makes the hair very thin and manageable. I'm sure some people might be sussed out about buying something like that used. The cartridge is the part that touches your body, and you usually buy that new. I usually wouldn't rec anything from Amazon. However, I was really desperately in need of I couldn't find this on any other sites. I just wanted like a white tote bag or cream tote bag that had a lot of pockets. I tend to go work for the day. I usually am bringing like workout shoes, water bottle, a packed meal, laptop. Everyone's like does your laptop fit in your bag? I'm like, does everything fit in my bag? Like if it's not all there, then the day is not going to go well. So I purchased this kind of hilarious bag for $20 on Amazon. I've gotten so many compliments on it. So we will add my cream tote with pockets here. I did get a bikini with Jean. I got it on sale. I'm very specific about bathing suits, and I specifically went to the store to try it on. I find that a lot of bikinis that are expensive are not very good quality. I purchased this myself and I've been quite impressed with the quality. It's this one, but with like slightly different bottoms. I really liked it. I would be careful about the sizing. I ran a lot smaller than I anticipated. I grew up in Southern California being at the beach all the time, so even though I feel like I'm no longer that vibe of a girl, like I have very high standards for bathing suits. They must be perfection. Skincare stuff, everything is pretty much the same right now. I'm really trying to just do less using my favorites. I'll link them. They're my favorites every time. I use the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen, the Ilyun moisturizer, and the Vanna cream cleanser. You could use anything instead of those, but basically just like things that I know don't make me break out and are super simple. Everybody really likes like the Tower 28, like the hypochlorous spray, but I use so much of it, I wanted it to be more cost effective, and so I actually just started ordering the hypochlorous stuff in bulk, and I just refill my own spray bottle. I eat a lot at home and I pack a lot of my own lunches. I am not a great like chef, like I'm not like chefing it up all the time. I basically just eat like chicken and salmon and everything's seasoned very simply. I'm very like a ritualistic eater, but because I eat that way, I think I've really noticed when it comes to like skin and health, I'm trying to make sure I incorporate some extra things here and there, more nuts to make sure I get omega-3s. And I've also just been trying to think more about fiber. I eat like a lot of apples and a lot of kale, but I'm bad about diversifying those sources, buying a different type of fruit along with the things that I love. I think as a woman, it's really easy to get used to like limiting things and cutting them out. And I'm trying to think about adding things instead, if that makes sense. I always do a section that I call like advice and ideas, but it's more just what's kind of top of mind for me, or maybe quotes or things that I've been musing about. Michelle Lee did this piece called My Career So Far. She herself is an influencer, but also worked full-time at Tory Burch for 3.5 years. This quote from it I really loved. I finally felt ready to leave Tory Burch when I realized I am burnt out creatively. I'm so focused on finishing the tasks that I don't even know how to enjoy them anymore. I miss the blank quiet time where I could just let my mind wander. I'm realizing that my idea of success has changed since I started in this industry. As much as I still want the big title and validation from the industry that I'm useful and smart, success now means freedom, to work on my own schedule and be curious and try things without the pressure of monetizing it. I think this is really interesting for people who maybe want to take a short 20s sabbatical or 30s sabbatical. I was working a bit, but I technically took a little bit of time off when I was really burnt out from my full-time job early last year. And when you're in it, it's really tough to see that this is going to pay off. However, I feel like in retrospect, a huge investment in myself. I also used this quote in my last video essay, but it's from Rachel Cusk in Notes on Domesticity. To continue creating, a person has to maintain an essential discomfort in the world. The kitchen where my mother spent the most of her time was often the smallest and dowdiest room in the house we lived in. And I too have found myself working over the years in cramped bedrooms or at the kitchen table, even when a degree of prosperity would have permitted me to claim the much vaunted room of my own. I just been thinking about a lot of this. I've had a crazy time in terms of like building a home and finding a home and thinking a lot about the role of home and control and beauty. And, you know, we're all inundated with this like home improvement content and everything. And as much as I think making your space a sanctuary and a beautiful thing is really important, it sometimes also feels like this defense mechanism against the sort of chaos and unpredictability of the world. I like this quote because sometimes I feel like I can get into a trap of I'll only write if I have this beautiful space, or I will only be... For a long time I was like, oh, I don't want to make YouTube videos until my apartment is perfect, or my clothing is perfect, or my face is perfect, you know, and you'll often actually seek out some sort of resistance because resistance is what breeds the work. Like you have to come up against something. I'm gonna briefly touch on, because I didn't share anything from podcasts, YouTube, or theater, which podcasts and YouTube sometimes are like the same thing because like, is this a podcast or is it a YouTube video? You tell me. For an industry that is completely oversaturated, I don't really feel like I have a lot of people that I resonate with. Like, I think YouTube has changed my perception of I'm interacting with like all these incredible takes and ideas, and then I like listen to a podcast and I'm a bit bored. Like, it just feels like people yapping. I guess I don't have any. As I've told you guys before, like, they're on my other list, but I always listen to Little Gold Men. I love Ride, but it's off season right now. Yeah, I've been like not. If you have recs for me podcast wise, please let me know. Something I struggle with is I also feel like podcasters have gotten so big now that they can't be like specific about situations or products or things that they use. Like, it's more like the reality of the details of life that I'm interested in, and because to avoid mentioning anything because of the prospect of brand deals, or there's just like a lack of relatability and fun there that I feel like podcasting used to have. And that's not like anything against the podcast itself being bad. It's like just what I crave a certain level of intimacy there that I don't necessarily feel like I'm getting. Because who am I watching on YouTube? Nothing too new on YouTube. I'm starting to watch more Lizzie Hadfield and Lauren Louise, Sharian in Korea. I've also been watching Dion's vlogs. I also watched some Katie Clark videos recently. Sometimes like woo-woo stuff on YouTube can take it too far for me, but I love when I watch a creator and their work is actually quite grounded. Katie Clark's videos are very good at that if you're looking for something in that world. Theater, I did not see as much theater as I would have liked this year so far. 5 shows or so. Club Thumb is a nonprofit that supports really like avant-garde new work called Summer Works, where they put on 3 new plays. The tickets are really affordable, like around $30. And a lot of that work then goes on to be put up elsewhere. I highly recommend going to a Club Thumb show if you want to see some like downtown theater in New York. I also saw, it just closed, but I saw You Got Older at the Cherry Lane. It's a play by Claire Barron. It's actually from quite a few years ago. Peter Friedman absolutely blew me away in this piece. He plays her father who is undergoing treatment and is ill. Wow, he is just a gem of the stage. Cherry Lane was renovated and bought by A24 and is doing a lot of really good and interesting work. I will say it's a bit harder to get tickets than I would like. I rushed this show. They were very, very kind and I was able to get a ticket. I think it was like $40 because it's A24 and there's a lot happening around the theater and they have a really beautiful restaurant in there now. The ticket prices are like pretty expensive and I do feel like it's a lot of people, like it's a bit sceney right now. I will say if you want to go to the theater, it's a great like intro if you don't go to the theater a lot in New York, but just know that there are other off-Broadway options that have 30 under 30. Ballet has 30 under 30. I can list a few more on here as well. I think this is the list. I will link everything for you all and I will be back soon with more favorites, more stuff, maybe a video essay this month, maybe a vlog. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, anything you want thoughts on, anything I should watch over the next, 3 to 4 months before I do the next one. And I am so grateful to everybody for being here. I think I recently hit 95K subscribers, which is actually insane. I don't even know what it was about a year ago. It's mind-boggling to me, but I am having so much fun on here. And also to recent people who have like come up to me when I'm out and about in New York, it means the world and it's so sweet and I love talking to anybody. I am talking to my computer right now, and so talking to anybody in person is very delightful. And also thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. I'll let you guys know how my books are. Wishing you all a wonderful spring into summer.